Good afternoon, I'm Ed Lingao. This is One News Now. The North Luzon Expressway is experiencing Manic Monday. Carlo Castillo has that story.
Even before the clock struck 8 this morning, traffic buildup along NLEX was already several kilometers long. This quarantine control point that was set up by the PNP to check all cars coming into Metro Manila from provinces in the north like Bulacan, Pampanga, and Zambales. Authorities expected the heavy flow of vehicles today because a lot of people are returning to work in the capital. But they reminded commuters that only passengers who are authorized to travel will be let through. This car was barred from entering NCR because there was a minor inside.
Ano pong trabaho natin, ma'am?
Ako po pauwi. Ang daddy ko po yung trabaho.
Magkatrabaho po yung daddy nyo, tapos kayo po pauwi lang po. Sir, pasensya na po tayo kasi bawal po tayo pumasok ng Manila ngayon kasi dumadami po yung cases natin. Baka may meron pa po tayong batang kasama, sir. Lahat po ng kailangan natin ay open po. Katulad po sa Bulacan po tayo. Lahat po ng kailangan natin nasa Bulacan din po.
This shuttle was ferrying 8 employees of a glass and aluminum company, but only 4 of them have valid IDs.
Kasi training lang po kami. Training po.
Hindi ba kayo binibigyan ng ID ng kumpanya kahit na training o OJT kayo?
Nakalimutan po namin sa tindahan.
Kung gusto nila, pwede dumiretso yung may ID. Then, balik yung walang ID.
The drivers were not given citations, but both cars were asked to turn around and head back to Bulacan. Over in Balintawak, many employees decided to walk in the length of EDSA to get to their workplaces since public transportation remains suspended.
Wala pang public transport no?
Wala pa po eh. Medyo walking distance lang po kami. Ayun.
Lakad muna.
Lakad muna.
Mamaya pa uwi,
Ganun pa rin po.
lakad pa rin.
Mahirap pa rin kasi walang transpo, kaya ganun. Ngayon lang kasi ako lumabas ng bahay mula nung ECQ kaya wala pa akong masasabi. Pero parang ganun nga, medyo less lang ng mga sasakyan.
Oh, pero nung wala kayong trabaho, wala rin kita.
Wala talaga.
Oh, medyo mahirap.
Medyo mahirap talaga.
Now that Metro Manila has moved to a modified ECQ, it is expected that 50% of employees in the capital will start pouring in. While some companies provide shuttle services to employees, but for the unlucky ones, walking to your destination is the new normal. Carlo Castillo, We Are One News.
Many employees are struggling to return to work 2 months after the enhanced community quarantine forced businesses to stop operations. Justin Punsalang with the story.
Workers are finding different ways to get back to their jobs on the first Monday under the modified enhanced community quarantine in Manila. Some used their own vehicles. Others hopped on their company's free shuttle service. And some rode on their motorcycles. But for those who can't afford their own cars or motorcycles, they put their leg muscles to good use by riding on bicycles. And that's exactly how maintenance worker Dominador who came all the way from Muntinlupa is going to work.
Walang magawa, walang masakyan eh.
Anong oras ko umalis kuya ng Muntinlupa?
Alas 5 po.
Tapos, saan ang trabaho mo kuya?
Papunta pa ako ng Tayuman. Maganda rin po yun, ma'am, exercise eh.
Oo.
Walang masakyan eh.
Still, for those who have no choice at all, the only remaining alternative would be to travel on foot. Hardware employee Reynaldo had to walk some 9 kilometers just to reach his workplace in Tayuman, Manila. Today is his first day back to work after 2 months of zero earnings and depending on relief goods from the government.
Lakad lang, walang masakyan. Titingin ako kung may magpasakay.
Pag pauwi mamaya, naglalakad ka rin po.
Lakarin ko rin. Tsagaan ko na lang. Tingnan ko kung kaya.
Even BPO employee Rachel had to walk to reach the pickup point of her company's service vehicle.
Taga saan kayo ma'am?
Malate.
Tapos ma'am, yung BPO nyo saan ma'am?
So, Boulevard pa po.
Paano ang balak nyo ma'am?
Lalakarin na yung Bendia.
However, having a private vehicle does not guarantee passengers will be allowed to pass through checkpoints. This motorist was flagged by enforcers and was issued a violation ticket because the driver failed to show a company ID as proof of his employment in Manila. Authorities then asked him to turn around and return to his point of origin in Malabon. Police are also peering into cars to ensure that social distancing is being observed in private vehicles. Authorities also flag down shuttle services of frontliners if social distancing protocols are violated. This passenger was asked to transfer seats behind the driver before they were allowed to pass through. If you're getting on the road, expect traffic buildups at checkpoints and city borders. Workers are reminded to bring their company ID and employment certificates, which they will have to show to authorities. Justine Punsalang, News 5.
Taxis and transport network vehicles are now allowed in areas under general community quarantine, but they have to meet certain requirements. For vehicles on ride-sharing platforms, they should have a certificate of public convenience. In its absence, enforcers will accept a provisional authority. Booking must be done via an online app. Payments should strictly be cashless or contactless. What this means is that drivers should be able to process digital transactions. No cash payments are allowed. Each unit should also secure insurance policies for passengers. It's pretty much the same for taxis. Units should subscribe to an internet or web-based app provided by transport network companies for booking purposes. The government, however, allows taxis to pick up passengers when they are hailed on the street, but all payments must be done online. Again, paying by cash will not be allowed. All drivers are required to wear masks and gloves at all times. Passengers are likewise asked to wear masks as well. The no mask, no ride policy will be strictly enforced. For contact tracing purposes, both TNVs partners and taxi drivers should keep a logbook containing the passenger's name, address, and phone number. The PNP had already explained its version of the story on the alleged mauling of a factory worker in Cavite. But for a well-known forensics expert, the suspect's injuries do not appear to be consistent with what the Cavite police are claiming, that they were self-inflicted. In an interview with 1PH, Dr. Raquel Fortun said a person who fell upon tripping would normally injure his knees or hands first. If the person would hit his face, there should be abrasions, which in the case of Ronald Campos are very minimal. In fact, Fortun says the injuries shown in the pictures appear to be consistent with Ronald Campos' version that he was hit several times with a club.
Pag tinignan mo yung mga sugat, yung mga pasa, mukhang merong pattern injury. May mga pahaba, malapad na pahaba, na several times mong makikita, and therefore that implies several times na inflicted.
COVID-19 cases in the Philippines continue to rise. As of 4 p.m. on Sunday, the Philippines records 200 more coronavirus infections. The sick list has grown to more than 12,500. 7 people died on Sunday, raising the national death toll to more than 800. 74 patients recovered from the SARS-like disease overnight. So far, more than 2,600 patients have survived COVID-19. At least one person died after an acrobatic jet crashed in British Columbia, Canada during a flyover intended to boost morale during the pandemic. The victim was a member of the Snowbirds, which performs air shows for the Canadian public, similar to the U.S. Navy's Blue Angels. Another crew member was seriously injured in the incident. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the crash. For more updates, follow News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. I'm Ed Lingao. We are One News.